Hey everybody, today we're going to sing Mother Leary. Are you ready? We're going to sing it together. So I'll go nice and slow the first time and then we'll do it one more time. Ready? One dark night while we were all in bed, oh Mother Leary took the lantern to the shed, and when the cow kicked it over, she winked her eye and said it'd be a hot time in the old barn tonight. Fire! 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 All right, you ready? One more time. One dark night while we were all in bed, oh Mother Leary took the lantern to the shed, and when the cow kicked it over, she winked her eye and said it'd be a hot time in the old barn tonight. Fire! Fire! Fire!
Nice.
Hi everyone, it's good to see you again as we are sharing this journey together, which is exactly what this week's theme is about. Compassion along the way. How we are there for each other at all the different points, all the different experiences in our life. Now, so far we've learned about compassion, how it pushes us to be brave to help others. And we've learned about how each one of us is loved by the God who is compassionate. And what it means to be able to understand and care about what other people are experiencing and feeling. So today, as we are going to talk about compassion along the way, again, it's about how we can be there for each other through good times and hard times. Now, what does it mean to be there for somebody? Well, let me ask you a few questions, and I want you to tell me the first person or the first character who comes to mind. I invite you to speak that answer at home and share it with your family. So let's start. First question. Who is always there for Peppa Pig? Who is always there for Batman? Who is always there for Big Bird? Who is always there for Harry Potter? Who is always there for people in danger? Who is always there for people who are sick? Who is always there for children? And finally, who is always there for you? I bet you had some great answers, but it makes me wonder, what does it mean to be always there for somebody? What does it mean to be there for someone? Does it mean you're always in the same room with them? Does it mean that you follow them everywhere they go? And as we're asking, what does it mean to be there for someone who is sick? To be there for the poor? What does it mean to be there for your family? What does it mean to be there for your friends? Maybe another way of saying all of this is that we are present with someone. Now, we can be in the same room with someone, but if we're not giving them attention, if we're not showing that we care, we're not really present with them. If we're not listening to them, we're not allowing them to share what they're going through. Now, if I want to really be present with a friend, I wait, I stop, I give my attention, I listen, I ask how I can support them, and I follow through on that as best as I can. And even though we can't always fix people's problems, we can't make those problems go away, being there for them lets them know that they are truly cared for, that they are understood, and that they won't have to deal with their struggles all alone, that there is someone who is there for them. I'm sure you've been through some difficult things, and it helps knowing that someone is there to listen to you, share your feelings and experiences, and to help you know that you're not alone and that you're understood. Even if they can't make the problem go away, that always helps us get through those experiences better. And that's so important because none of us are alone and none of us should have to go through hard times or struggles by ourselves. Now, in our story today, we're going to learn about 3 women who went through a very hard time and figured out how to be present with each other in their hurt. And this is a story about how people don't have to go through their hard times alone. How we can be present not only for the people who are there for us, but how we can be there for each other and help each other through some hard times that we're all experiencing. So as we prepare to hear that story, let's pray, and I invite you to repeat after me. All right, so let us pray. Dear God, you are always there for us. Help us to trust you and know we can come to you with anything. And as we are loved by you, help us be there for others, because everyone matters, and nobody should have to go through hard times alone. Thank you, and Amen. Once there was a man named Elimelech, and he had a wife, Naomi, and they had 2 sons. But once they lived in the land of Judah, but there was a great famine in the land, and not enough food for all the people. And so they moved to the land of Judah. And there the 2 sons took on 2 wives. And they lived there. But one day Elimelech died, and the 2 sons died, and all that was left was Naomi and her 2 daughters-in-law. Well, Naomi missed her homeland of Judah and heard there was now more than enough food, so she decided that it was time to move, and her 2 daughters-in-law followed her. Halfway along the trip, she turned to them and told them that they no longer needed to come with her, that they had more than enough shown great compassion and care for her. One of the daughters, named Orpah, said farewell to Naomi with her blessing and left. And all that was left was Ruth. But Ruth was determined to follow Naomi. Orpah, the mother, told her that she didn't want to have her life ruined, that she could find a husband back in her own home of Moab. But Ruth said to her, "Wherever you go, I will go, and your people will be my people. Wherever the road takes you, I will be there with you." And having heard this, Naomi and Ruth continued on the way back to the land of Judah. So in our story, we see a lot of characters showing compassion. We see Naomi wanting her 2 daughters-in-law to find out what was best for them, to allow them to go back to the land and the people that they've always known, for them to just go back to their old homes. And for one of those daughters-in-law, Orpah, that was the right choice, for her to go back with her, having been told by her mother-in-law that it was okay. Ruth took another route, in which she decided what was right for her was to then return that compassion with Naomi. That Naomi is grieving, she's lost a lot of loved ones, and Naomi is going through a time of great struggle And it's hard to go back and start your life all over again. And Ruth doesn't want her to go through that alone. And so even though Ruth doesn't know what's down the road, she knows that she's going to be there with Naomi, that they're going to look out for each other. And that no matter what happens, no matter what challenges or unexpected things happen, that they're going to face those together. That wherever Naomi goes, Ruth is going to make sure that she doesn't have to go through it alone. They're going to take care of these things and take care of each other together along the way, no matter where that road might take them. And so as we go through a lot of these, as we go through our activities and as we talk about our story, remembering to color in our sheet, reminding us that we are going along the way and discussing some of those questions about what that meant for Ruth and Naomi and what that means for us, how we can be there for each other, that we may look out for opportunities for people who might be going through some hard times and just need somebody to be there with them, for them to know that they don't have to go through it alone. And so may you find somebody in your life that you can be there for when they're going through hard times, and let them know that they don't have to go through it alone, that all of us as God's children can find a way to get through these things together, and that you can extend that compassion to them. Well, enjoy talking about this week's story, and I hope you continue to learn more about what it means to show compassion to others along the way.
This week we're going to sing Brave Enough, and it's going to be a first verse which repeats, and then there's going to be a second part that kind of goes up, and then we'll go back to the beginning, do the first verse, repeat the first verse, and then do the second part, and that's the whole song. So I'm just going to start in on it. Feel free to jump in whenever you want. 2, 3, 4. We are brave enough to love. We are brave enough to show compassion. We are brave enough to listen and tell the truth. We are brave enough to love. We are brave enough to show compassion. We are brave enough to listen and tell the truth. We can be brave. We can be brave because we're filled with love from the bottom of God's heart. We can be brave. We can be brave. We are brave enough to love. We are brave enough to show compassion. We are brave enough to listen and tell the truth. We are brave enough to love. We are brave enough to show compassion. We are brave enough to listen and tell the truth. We can be brave. We can be brave because we're filled with love from the bottom of God's heart. We can be brave. We can be brave.
All right, and finally, we have our mural, our big picture that we're coloring in. And for this week, we are going to be coloring in episodes and instances of people who are showing compassion for someone else along the way. And so what I want you to look out for and color in, and then explain and discuss with each other how these are instances of showing compassion along the way, being present with people along the way. That'll be a great opportunity to explore ways in which you can be there for others along the way. So those objects on our mural are 2 women walking, 2 people sitting on a bench, a couple of kids running and holding hands, and someone giving a tissue to someone crying. And then after that, you're going to notice that there are some others that are still left to be filled and colored in, and those you can also start filling in and coloring, which are going to be examples of how we show compassion not just to ourselves and not just to individual people, but how we begin to show compassion to the whole world. And you're going to see some instances in which we take that compassion to a bigger level so that the whole world may know the love of God that we have experienced through Jesus Christ. And I hope you have a great time not only coloring those in, but in having a conversation about what it means to show compassion to people in all of these different ways, and how it is a reflection and a reminder of God's compassion for us. Hope you've had a great month with all of these things, and I'm so glad that you've allowed me the chance to share with you the compassion that God shows to us so that we can then show compassion to others. Bye, everybody.